Despite this being such a busy period for West Ham, in terms of incomings, outgoings of players, it's been remarkably busy. There's just no signs of it stopping at all. It's just relentless, the constant news. West Ham have been so active in this transfer window. We were expecting it to be busy. Let's get it straight. I don't think everyone was expecting West Ham to be pretty busy. But, I mean, I think even the most sort of staunch supporters of Stuyton and wanting to see this sort of huge change, considering the fact we brought in a new head coach, I don't think could have predicted this kind of level of activity. It's been remarkable. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I'm buzzing, really am buzzing. But my word, it's actually hard to keep up with it, isn't it? Because it's changing pretty much by the hour. And it has been now for a number of weeks. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we start a new fresh week with West Ham about to wrap up the deal for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, which is great news. This was the one position you felt that was a real priority for West Ham to get that right back situation sorted. I've had a couple of messages from people suggesting that it's a bit harsh on Vladimir Coufal, been a great player for West Ham and he shouldn't be disregarded. Totally agree. I please don't think that I'm treating Coufal with any disrespect and thinking, he's useless. I don't think that at all. He's been a great servant for West Ham, and I still think he's actually got a key role to play at the club. I don't want to see him go personally. I don't know whether he will or not. I don't think he will personally, but I can understand if he's getting his nose is a little bit out of joint, possibly. But look, it's football, that's the way it goes. But let's get it straight. Wan-Bissaka's an upgrade, and we've needed it. Coufal's been a great servant for the club, but when you look at our back line, that is a weak position. And what I was saying in my last video regarding Coufal was just the fact that we've come quite accustomed to the fact that he has dips in form at times, and it's just we haven't really got that luxury now. We really want to kick on, and I think the way the system's set up, we want someone a little bit more progressive. So I'm really, really pleased. And Wan-Bissaka is, that was our number one target. We have nailed our number one targets pretty much throughout this window, which is astonishing. It really is. You look at our two centre backs. You got Todibo and Kilman. They were our two top targets, and we've got them in. You got Somerville as our left winger. Got that one done. Our right back was Wan-Bissaka, and he's having his medicals as we speak. So we're expecting the club. I don't know whether it's going to be formally announced today. We know the media work's set up. If it is going to be announced, it'll probably be this evening. But that's a great signing. And funnily enough, I've actually seen Sky Sports News were doing. They do the news, and they do a sort of general chit chat with amongst the presenters, and they were saying about who's having the most successful window. It resounding was West Ham. All of them were saying that West Ham are really the side to be looking at this season that have spent really well. So how can you not be excited? It's such a buzz, isn't it? Going into a new season, fresh new players, and we're talking top drawer. West Ham haven't sort of scraped the bargain buckets, and we're not trying to sort of do these sort of deals that we've been used to over the seasons, haven't we? Where we've not scraping the barrel is a bit harsh, but we've sort of not really done our homework, a lot of the players, and we've sort of, it just feels like there's a real plan in place. And look, there's no guarantee. I'm not suggesting that, this is it now. We're guaranteed to be challenging top six this season, but we've certainly given Lopetegui what he needs, and he must be buzzing. What a backing he's had now from the football club and from Stuyton. I'm really, really pleased. So yeah, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, hopefully it'll be confirmed today by the club. I mean, as we've got the latest update from ExWHUEemployee, the player's now having his medical. The media work's now booked in for this afternoon. So, the sort of stuff with the club, for his announcement video. So hopefully it'll be today. I really hope so, because it would be nice and great way to start the week. But do you know what? You'd think now things would start to settle down. That West Ham have probably done their business now, but we haven't. In fact, we're expecting another two, I reckon, players to come in. And we've got a bit of an update on that. So the players that are considered at the moment the front runners as candidates we're going to be looking to bring in now. Carlos Soler of PSG, the midfielder. So this is the update from ExWHUEemployee. The manager's a big fan of midfielder Carlos Soler. The manager knows him from his days as a Spanish national manager. The player is out of favour and should be available. Is one that we're likely to go after once the Wan-Bissaka deal is completed. So this is seeming quite concrete now, and so I actually expect that that's going to ramp up pretty quickly. Again, another high-profile player that West Ham looking at, Spanish international. I mean, this is really pinch yourself time, isn't it? We are going for high-caliber players all over the place here, and it feels like, usually with West Ham, previously, when you get linked to players that we go, oh, that's the player we really want, you kind of sometimes take it with a pinch of salt when it came to West Ham, because you go, yeah, but the chances of getting him, not so sure. You don't know. It feels now like every time we sort of set our goal and go, that's the player we want to go and get, there's a real confidence that we're going to go and get it done. So now I'm almost at a point where when I hear from X saying, you know, that's the player we're going to go for, that's the top target, you kind of in your mind think, oh, we're probably going to get him then. It's really, really healthy. It's a great feeling, and I'm thrilled. So yeah, Carlos Sawyer seems to be the next main target. The other one is Trevor Chalobah of Chelsea, the defender. We've also been linked with him for a little while now, not even just this summer, but previous transfer windows. It seems like he has been treated really harshly by Chelsea. I don't quite know what goes on with these clubs and what causes it. I'm not suggesting the player's completely innocent in it. I don't know enough of the details. But the fact is, we're hearing that he's been banned from training with the first team, and he obviously didn't go on their pre-season tour. It doesn't look good. And I talked about it previously with Manchester United and Wan-Bissaka. These clubs sometimes, I don't get it. I don't understand what goes on and why that they seem to have real issues with the players they've got and letting them go, etc. There seems to be a real disrespect. I mean, you look at Wan-Bissaka, right? People are sort of trying to, the way Manchester United are feeding the media, it's almost like trying to paint the player out to be this greedy player. Oh, he wants all this compensation. The guy signed a contract, right, that has in it a loyalty payment. I don't know why they insert it. Man United insert these things in their contracts. We know this because we had the same with Harry Maguire last season. These loyalty payments, when you've been here a certain amount of years or whatever in your contract, you're entitled to a loyalty payment. Manchester United are the ones saying to him, right, we're going to let you go. We want to move you on. Fine. And he's every right to go, well, okay, well, look, but I don't have to go. Next season, you'll be paying me £7 million loyalty fee. And on top of that, I'd then walk away and I could then go and command a higher transfer fee because it'll come straight to me because I'll be a free agent. So he's sort of like in line to be getting sort of 15 million quid, let's say, argument in total. He's now accepting just over 5 to leave. And the fact he's accepted that and taken a reduction in wages to come to West Ham, I think it's quite noble of him. And now Man United have, well, thank God it's been resolved, by the way, only recently, was that Man United have then caused more of an issue by saying to the player, well, we're not going to pay you straight away. It's going to be in installments over a period of time. They just won't get it. I just feel like it's really poor for some of these clubs how they treat people. And by the way, I don't want sort of Man United fans or Chelsea fans to say to me, how dare you kind of thing. I understand West Ham aren't great either. I mean, you look at sort of James Collins, the players over the years that we've not treated great. I always feel at the end, you think we deserve the testimonials, etc. So I'm not saying that, you know, we're perfect. We're far from it. But you do feel at times like, why treat players so badly at the end? I just don't understand it. So it seems like Chalobah's really having a nightmare time at Chelsea at the moment and needs to get out of that club. They want to get rid of him as well. So it seems like it's going to be a deal that works really well for us because he's a homegrown player as well. So it appears that Solé and Chalobah are the two main targets now after Wan-Bissaka. They should be the two players that conclude our transfer window. And like I've said, it's really strange now to be going, well, I suspect that we'll get them then. If West Ham are saying that these are the two players we want, I'm quite confident we're going to go and get them. As I say, it's not guaranteed. You know, I'm not saying it's 100% that's going to happen. But do you know what I mean? You kind of get that feeling now. The way this window's gone, you're like, well, I suspect that's going to happen. So that appears to be the way West Ham are doing it. The interesting thing, of course, is now player outgoings. Kurt Zouma is heading to Dubai, and he's had his medical for his move. It's no surprise that there's an issue. We were expecting it. I kind of made a jokey tweet about it regarding how I wanted the the medical to go. I.e., just sort of please don't look at the guy. You know, the guy is so broken. We know that. So the fact you ever heard the word medical, you're like, oh God. So it appears that that they've established there is a problem and they're trying now to negotiate their way around it. However, what we are hearing and what we understand, the player's still there. There's still willingness from West Ham and the club to get the deal done for Kurt Zouma. So we are expecting that the deal is going to go through. We need it to go through. We need to free up the wages. The interesting thing, though, is now further players that are going to go out the door at West Ham. So we've got a bit of an update from X on that. So the club would like to move on Max Cornet and Danny Ings. Both have high wages, especially the latter. And both are very low now down the pecking order and could even struggle to be making the bench. We've got to get rid of these players. This is what you've got to be really wary of when you put players on high contracts. That's what West Ham did with Danny Ings. It was I think it was a David Sullivan signing, as far as we understood it. I remember at the time it was sort of labelled as a gift to David Moyes at the time. But it's not been a gift for the club. It's been a nightmare because we can't get rid of the player. And it's not the player's fault. I don't blame the player at all. It's West Ham's fault. They've got into a silly deal, put him on a high wage, and now we're struggling to get rid of him. It's not his fault at all. And he's well within his rights to say, well, I'm in no hurry to go. Why would he be? He's the one that's been offered the contract and he signed it. So it looks like the wages obviously make it difficult to move on. Cornet's injuries, his calves are making him a huge risk. There are clubs, however, showing interest. Everton, Forest and former club Burnley are all interested in Cornet, apparently, but we've had no offers as of yet. Danny Ings is also interested from Bournemouth and Southampton, but again, we've received no offer for him. These are going to be difficult players to move on. They really are. I think they're going to have to start thinking of going down the route of Kurt Zouma, where we're just not going to recover a fee. And which seems possibly, I'd probably label Danny Ings into that because I think he'd struggle to get a fee for him now at his age. Part of me would just think, let's let him go on a free, save the wages and move on. I know it's not ideal, but I think that's kind of the position we're in. Max Cornet, on the other hand, you'd like to think because of his age, you might be able to get something. But I mean, these are huge losses we've made on these players. Max Cornet especially, Max Cornet, I've talked about a few times, has been an absolutely disastrous signing for this club. One that we just really need to draw a line under and move on from fast because it's just not getting any better. I've not been impressed with him at all over pre-season. The interesting one, though, from X is Thomas Souček and James Ward-Prowse. Futures are also now in question. Alvarez is now real close to returning to full fitness, so it's hard to see now where either of these players are going to fit inside. Totally agree. I think if West Ham are going to recoup some money this summer, that's the way to go about it. I think you've got to look at your Souček and Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse, you imagine, probably get about 10 million for. Souček, probably 20. You'd imagine around that mark. You know what I mean? I think that's what West Ham have got to start looking at. You want a bit of squad depth, of course, but you've got to look at these players as well. They're going to want to be sitting on the bench. And I feel a little bit for James Ward-Prowse, actually, because I think he's actually had a pretty decent first season at West Ham. I know some fans are a little bit underwhelmed, I suppose, with him, but I feel like actually he's not been a bad player for West Ham. Actually, I think he's been all right. With his assists and goals, I think he did okay. And he works bloody hard. You know what I mean? He really does work hard. And Thomas Souček's been a great signing for West Ham. Make no mistake. I know at times I've slated him. I think a lot of people have, but overall, I think he's been a great sign for West Ham. He really has, and he's been part of a big period of the club. Where we've been successful. And he's had his hand in that, absolutely no doubt. Vital goals, and he's worked hard. He might not be the most pleasing on the eye player at times, but regardless of that, I've got nothing but respect for Thomas Souček. But I do look at him now and think I struggle to see where he fits in all of this. I just don't see it. I really don't. I'd love these players to stay, by the way. I'd love them to be sort of backup midfielders that we've got available. I really would. But when you're looking at the books, you're looking at sort of financial fair play and things like that. West Ham are going to have to make some sales, you imagine. Obviously, look, as I said, Cornet and Ings, I just struggle to see how we're going to command fees for these players. I mean, Cornet's been so injured for such a long time, and he's just a bit of a nightmare player. I still think we can recoup some money for him, though, because of his age. You imagine we'd be able to get something possibly abroad as well. We know we've got teams out in France that are quite keen on him as well. But Danny Ings, I think, is going to have to go down the Zouma route. Just say, look, take him off our hands, no fee, just take his wages off our books. That might be the only way around it with clubs like Bournemouth and Southampton that might be keen on doing something like that. But so Thomas Souček, James Ward-Prowse, it looks like they could possibly be on their way at some point in this transfer window. West Ham obviously are going to have to make some sales and get some money in, but that does, as I say, this isn't just about selling now. West Ham have got more business to do, looking to bring another midfielder in Soleil and looking to bring a defender in Chalobah. So interesting times. Hopefully we're going to get the confirmation today that Zouma deal's done. I really want to get that one sorted and get rid. I've not no disrespect to him again, much like the other players. Really grateful for the work they've put in while they've been at the club. I mean, he's again been a key player. He's had a couple of great seasons for us. Kurt Zouma, had been a mainstay, hasn't he? When he's been fit, he's been our main central defender. Let's get that straight. Obviously, club captain last season, so I think he leaves with his head held high, actually, and obviously with a trophy as well. But we need to free up these wages, so I think it's a key one we want to see get done. And obviously, the exciting news of Wan-Bissaka today. I'm really hoping that we get the official announcement soon. I imagine it'll be this evening. If it isn't, it'll be tomorrow morning. But yeah, these are really good times, and hopefully later on we'll get another video with some more exciting news. But yeah, until then, come on, you irons.